Eh? Who is there? Oh, you must be looking for Deja. Me, I'm her long lost sister. It's nice to finally meet you. My name? Me, I'm Ebony Fire. People like to think of me as an alter ego, but no, there's nothing alter about me. I'm just normal. Anyways, let me go and fetch her for you. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deja and this is the Heritage and Home podcast, and I am so happy to be here with you today. I know you're wondering, who is this person who literally keeps changing month to month? Well, it's me. It's me. I know I change all the time. I reinvent myself. I reserve the right to reinvent myself every day if I would like to. So you may as well get used to this because I change all the time. And yes, I chopped all of my hair off. New beginnings. I know. I just literally turn the camera on and see what kind of ridiculousness is going to come out. Anyways. In today's podcast video, I'm so happy to be back with you guys today. You know, I have this thing where I'll just like watch YouTube videos, and I keep forgetting that I'm technically a YouTuber now, and so I'll see other YouTubers, YouTube podcasters, like crochet podcasters, posting their videos, and they're so regular. They're like a week, every 2 weeks, you know, 2 times a week, and I'm just like, wow, it's so nice, man, to have such consistent content. And then it like dawns on me, you don't even do that for your people. Get your life together, Deja. So I'm definitely working on that. But today I was like, you definitely need to make a video. I saw that the Croch-eh podcaster, I forget her name, I'm sorry, I really like your podcast though, that she posted a new video, and so did Irit from All the Crochet Fun, or it was All the Crochet Fun. I think it changed names now. So I saw that they all posted new podcasts. So I was like, I really need to do something with my life. So this video is gonna be kind of long if I try to put everything all in one video. So I'm gonna make it 2 parts, which is nice. Less work for me to have to make another video. In the first part of this video, it's gonna be all about my whips and faux, and I'm also going to introduce a new segment to my channel called the Sustainability Second. So I'm excited to get all of that in the works for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so for the first part of the video, let's go ahead and just get right into the whips and the faux. I'm so excited. There's so much I have to show you. So let's start with faux. Okay, the first one is going to be this beauty right here. I mentioned to you guys that I was creating a pattern, recreating a pattern that I made in the past, of a cute little hat, like a little beret beanie type of thing, and in creating that hat, I came up with a whole new pattern based off of that pattern. So I introduced to you this beauty. She is called the Sustainable Bahraini. I know it's a crazy name, and this is still a prototype. I'm still working on the pattern. This is just the first model that I've created, and I used the Bambeautiful yarn from Yarn Bee. I initially wanted to use the Fresh Haven yarn in the color pink, but that yarn got wet. My water bottle like busted open in my purse, and like it got like soaked, so I had to like let it air out, and I didn't want to waste precious time, so I decided to just continue working on it with this yarn and start over. And this is a beautiful cotton and bamboo blend of yarn called Bambeautiful from Yarn Bee, and this is what I came up with. I love it, and it's in this pretty dusty rose color. I'm not going to try it on for you because honestly my hair would not do it justice, my little micro fro. It's not going to do this hat justice, but I am going to take some beautiful professional photos of it and share it with you when the time comes, when I finally release the pattern. So now that I have the pattern all done, I just have to finish writing it up, which I am almost like halfway done with in Ribbler. So my pattern is going to be available in Ribbler, and then once I get my website up and going and all of that situated, I'll have it available for purchase on my website as well. So this is my very first pattern. I'm so excited. Indeed, not the first thing that I've ever came up with out of my brain, but the first thing that I'm actually going to try and release to the public for purchase. So yeah, it's still quite a ways to go before I can finally release it, because this is just the first version of it. I'm gonna make it again in that Fresh Haven yarn. I want to try it in different yarns because this pattern, like I mentioned in my last video, is specifically designed for plant-based fibers. So I want to try it in a couple of different, a few different plant-based fibers to see which ones work the best. I can recommend those, and then recommend substitutions. So yeah, but it's this really beautiful hat. I'm just loving the pattern so far. It's just so gorgeous. I love this little single crochet lip on there. That gives it that really beanie feel, or beret feel. So the reason I call it the Sustainable Bahraini is because it's made out of bamboo yarn, and I want the name to have, to sort of highlight the fact that it's supposed to be sustainable. So I definitely wanted that to be in the name. And then I call it a Bahraini because look at it. It's like a beret, but it can easily be a beanie, if you can see that happening. So I'm in love. I'm in love. It's so cool to see what your brain can kind of come up with when you just give it free reign. So yes, there's that. That's my first faux. The second faux is gonna be this beautiful set of washcloths. I love these so much. So these these washcloths were born out of a need to fulfill a promise that I made to a friend to make her some washcloths. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but you tell someone you're gonna make them something, you have all the intentions of doing it, and then for some reason it just flies out of your head, in the overwhelm of all the projects and all the things that you want to do and that you need to do. So that's sort of what happened with this one. Yeah, so with that being said, we're not gonna dwell. They're finished now and she'll get them. But I wanted to share them with you first. These are gonna be called, because I'm gonna try and get my hands on this yarn again. It's a long story behind this yarn, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now. But this is the Cessia Bio Bimbo yarn. I'm sorry, my phone is going off. The Bio Bimbo yarn by Cessia. It's like an Italian cotton yarn. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this one, because I just think they're so beautiful. I just had to share them with everybody. And the colors, look at the colors. This beautiful indigo, periwinkle color, and then you have this coral, kind of hot salmon pink color, and then you have this beautiful ecru cream. So when I look at these, they just give me this rustic mountain vibe. And because I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains, or at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the valley, they make me think of that. And I love the Blue Ridge Mountains, and they're just so much a part of home for me. So I wanted to call these the Blue Ridge Sunrise washcloths, or just cotton cloths, because they can be used for any type of washing need. I say they can be used in the kitchen, and they can also be used for spa night. They're just really gorgeous. Now these washcloths sort of tricked me, because this yarn is just amazing to work with. I loved it. I love the entire process. So what happened was, I used one skein of yarn and I held it from one end and the other end and crocheted up until I got to the middle. This is all that's left of it. It's just this little ecru color, but that's what I did, and it was just such a pleasant experience working with this yarn. I was like, oh, what happened? I thought I hated I hated creating washcloths and crocheting them, so why am I loving this process so much? And then I found out that it really is just this yarn, because cotton is just terrible to work with, most of them anyways. So yeah, anyways, that is my second faux. I'm in love with these. They're gorgeous. My third faux, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a picture on the screen. It is this beautiful cluster cardigan from Premier Yarns. It's one of their free patterns on their site, and it calls for the butterfly yarn, but I didn't use that yarn. I used a completely different one. I used Yarntopia by Yarn Bee. You can see that in the color Scarlet. It is gorgeous. Here is a little bit left over of it. So it is 100% acrylic, but it doesn't feel like it. So it has this like soft butteriness to it. I thought it would have had polyamide in it, but it doesn't at all. It's just 100% acrylic, and it just is gorgeous. It has a bit of a halo on it. And even though this yarn says that it's a 2, it says it's a 2 yarn. Wait, does it say it's a 2? Yes, this is a 2, but I think it's more of a 3. I'm trying to let you see it here, if it'll focus. I really gotta get a better camera. It's just like really not focusing. See, is it my face? I'm sorry, I just waste so much time doing that. But yeah, and it has this really gorgeous little halo, and it's sort of, I know you can't really tell on camera, but it has like a little heathering to it. And it's not quite scarlet, it's more like, it's got like a burnt orangey kind of vibe to it with a little more redness than usual in the burnt orange. So that's the kind of vibe that I get with it. On the camera it's coming out really, really bright. It's not quite as bright as that. But yeah, I love that. So that is my third and final faux. And now let's move on to the whips. So, okay, so like I said, those Blue Ridge Sunrise washcloths really tricked me into thinking that I actually do enjoy making washcloths. So I was like, let me make more of these. It's a win-win. They're quick to make and they can easily go in the shop. I can, you know, turn them around really quickly, all blah blah blah. Girl, I can't do it. So I really found out that I hate working with most cottons. I will only work with cottons that are supple. So I gotta use up the cotton that I have, and then after that I'm not gonna buy any more that feels like what is that thing? Sandpaper. I'm not doing that no more. So trying to make sure my camera's not gonna die. So I started making this set of washcloths. Don't get me wrong, they're really gorgeous, and I honestly feel like this is more like a pot holder. Yeah, I think it's more of a pot holder. It's pretty thick, and I held 2 different yarns double. There are these 2 right here to get this. So this is the Cotton Fairy yarn, this color here, and the color Silver, and that's this yarn by Premier. And the second one is this yarn called Sestari. It is a local yarn here in the valley, so you can get this from Churchville, Virginia. I believe it's Churchville, Virginia. Yeah. I'm not sure if they can be found online or anything like that, but yeah, this is a DK weight yarn. This is all about all that I have left, and I'll be using this to do the finishing touches on the washcloths that I have. So far this is the first one that I've made, and I like it. I'm just sort of experimenting with different ways to do the edging. I know what I have to do to eliminate a couple of problems that I've been having with these washcloths, because I want them to be perfectly square. That's my goal, and I haven't been able to really be quite successful in that so far, but I figured out what I need to do, so I'll be working on that to get my washcloths perfect from here on out, if I should make more, because that's, I don't know, it's like my hand, my skin is already dry. I don't need something that's gonna make it even drier. So yeah. This definitely is not for fun to work with, and this right here is the worst. This particular yarn, and it is Peaches and Cream original yarn. Everybody knows this. I mean, I know this. I don't even know why I'm doing this to myself, because I hate it. I don't know why I'm doing it. So anyways, there's the first one, and I like the cute little loop. It gives it this cute little modern, unexpected kind of finish to it. I like that about it. And then the second ones, like I said, I'm kind of experimenting with the edging. So I did it sort of like this, and yeah. And this is the first part before I put the pink edging around it. So yeah, I have a total of 3 of them so far. One completely completed, and the other ones that just need the final step done on them. So there's that. So that is my first whip. My second whip, Okay, is this right here. So as you can see, I am loving the cluster cardigan because I'm making a whole nother one. This is using the Karen Latte Cakes yarn, this one here. This is in the color Pepper Ash. I think my puppy went away. My puppy's name is Pepper, so when I say Pepper, she always like looks at me. And this is in the big old cake. It's giant. It's over like 500 yards of yarn, 530 yards of yarn. And this is a 5-weight bulky yarn. So yes, it's gonna work up even quicker because the one that I showed you before that I did was considered a 2-weight yarn, and it was really beautiful. It was really nice to work up because it's almost like making a blanket because it's just grannies. Like it's like a granny stripe. It's like actually it's like a hexagon. So you make 6 sides like that. You start with the very center right there, and then you just kind of continue making it big and big and big and big going around. And then you fold it along one side and everything will sort of just fall into place, and it'll create this L shape like that. And then this is one side of the cardigan, and then you make it identical to it and then flip it, and then you seam it along the back edge here, the back center, and then along the top on either side for the sleeves, and then boom, you got a cardigan. Finish it how you want. I think this particular one I'm gonna do tassels on. But yes, I am in love with this pattern. It is so easy, and I'm actually going to be teaching this pattern at a local yarn store. That's another business development that I will share with you guys in the second part of this video. So there is that, my second whip. My third whip is quite large. Okay, let's see if we can get her. So this is a blanket that I'm making, and I love it for so many reasons. First of all, the colors are super cool and fun. I love the gradient of colors, and I love the gray in between. So this is using the Big Twist yarn Renewal, and this is 100% recycled acrylic yarn, and I love the fact that it's recycled acrylic, but it literally feels like sandpaper on my fingers. Like I literally got a callus from where my yarn rests on my finger right here when I'm crocheting, where it like feeds, you know, through my finger. And yeah, but I'm honestly taking one for the team because we're helping Mother Nature. We're helping planet Earth. So this is the blanket so far. It's kind of big. It's bigger than what it honestly needed to be. It's very hard when you're on the foundation chain to know how big the actual thing is going to be, like when the stitches get in there, when they stretch out, because depending on the stitch that you're doing, it doesn't really, you can't really tell what the final product is going to be like, how big the measurements are going to be. I guess it just takes experience and time, and I've not made very many adult size blankets, so yeah. I definitely am going to have to start using the tape measure more often. But yeah, this blanket is pretty big. Let me see. So right here is folded in half, and I'm using the V-stitch. That's okay. So right now I'm using the V-stitch. Looks like this. I can focus. There you go. And I really like it so far. I'm using the V-stitch, and then I'm doing a band of gray in between the colors. Because magenta is the last of the purple pink colors, I am breaking it up to make it a little bit longer, to make it wider, because the blanket I'm working long ways and I'm making it wider as I go as opposed to longer. So yeah, so I'm breaking up this purple a bit. I have 2 of these skeins of each of the colors. So this is a complete pink skein, this is a complete purple skein, and this color is called raspberry. This is, yeah, so one complete skein in the stitch pattern, which is the V-stitch, will make 9 rows. So I'm gonna break it up into 3. So 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then I'll do another gray strip, 1 2 3, and then I'm gonna do a giant gray strip, maybe in the V-stitch, not quite sure, and then I'll do 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then go back to the big blocks of purple and pink. So yeah, I'm hoping that'll make it wide enough, because pretty sure I'm gonna run out of yarn, but I mean, I'm gonna do my best. I made it too long. That's really what I did. I made it too long. but it's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. It's okay. So yeah, that is my third whip. And then yeah, these are all the colors. And because like I said, I think I'm gonna run out of yarn, I started already incorporating this gray yarn, which is a leftover. It's a yarn baby bee, a yarn bee, baby bee yarn, and of course it's just this gray yarn. It's like a 2-weight yarn, but it kind of blooms a little bit when you put it in the stitch, so you can kind of see that there's a difference between these two yarns, but I'm going to try to incorporate it to where it looks intentional. I'll put the border in this color as well, some of the border in this color, and then I'll incorporate it all throughout the darker purple so that it looks pretty intentional, and then I'll go back to the gray for the other colors. So yeah, that is pretty much that one. I hate when patterns turn out like that, you know, when you're gonna run out of yarn and it's just, I don't like that. I like insurance basically for my yarn, for my patterns, to make sure I have enough yarn for everything. Oh, and speaking of that blanket, I have to make a retraction because I typically tell people, will tell anybody up and down how much I do not like froze hooks, but I will say I've been using this hook because my hands have been very tender. I've got naturally dry skin, and as much as I love these hooks and I can use them all day, every day, I really can, but my skin has been extra sensitive. I'm allergic to like dairy and gluten. Well, my skin is sensitive to them, and I'll get like eczema and like rashes and things. But I know this is like TMI. It's ice cream season, and my family, my husband's family, like his parents own an ice cream business, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat the ice cream. So these have been, this rubber grip has been irritating my skin, like right here where it rests in my hand, because the little friction here has been irritating my hand. As much as I love my hooks, I don't want to give them up, but I've been using this hook because it's an eye hook, and that's what I've been using for this blanket pattern. It's the Furls eye hook, and because it's wooden, and because it's so long and it's so smooth, it's been resting on my hand a lot better, and so I've been able to really work well with it, and it hasn't been really causing me issues. The only problem is like the hook head is like, it kind of grates against the acrylic yarn a little bit, and it makes this like shushing, like shuffling sound. The sound is not really a problem, it's just a friction. I'm just used to a nice easy slip in slip out situation, but you know, whenever I can, and I've had enough time to rest in between using my other hook, I just go back to my other hook because I love it so much. But I just wanted to give props to Furls where Furls props is due. So there you go. This Furls has really been coming in handy for me. So my last and final, or my fourth and final faux or whip is going to be, okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I started making a pattern, like a cute little summer lacy top pattern I was starting to make, and it was so beautiful. It had this sort of edging to it. It's like this split shell sort of situation. You can see that. You'd think I learned how to do this by now. Let me get my life together. There you go. So it makes this like really pretty, and when you kind of pull on them, they create this like pointed sort of lace. Just so gorgeous. So this is supposed to be the hem. So anyways, if you follow me, you'll see that I started it and I just had to rip it out because I decided I wanted to make the pattern in the round and not make two panels and try to make them identical and then try to sew them together. That just, it's like a lot of room for error when you do that. So I just decided that I was going to make it in the round. So I had to rip it all out, much to my dismay. And I think I'm gonna do a V-stitch on the bottom and then work my way up. In this design and crochet book that I have, it talked about doing a graduated V-stitch, which is really cool. So it starts with double crochet V-stitches with one chain one in between, and then it goes to half double crochet with one chain one in between, and then it goes to single crochet with two chain ones, or with two chains, not one, two chain ones, with two chains in between, and then you just continue to do that gradient. I'm not gonna quite do that. What I will do is do like large sections of the double crochet V-stitch, and then a smaller section, like a smaller band, maybe not smaller, okay, maybe just as the same amount of width of half double crochets, and then slowly work my way up to single crochet V-stitches. And so it'll create this really cool graduated pattern, but it's still lacy, but it's more closed at the top because ain't nobody got time to be showing anything up there. And then I'm thinking about this for the hem and for the edging of the sleeve. So we'll see. And I kind of want to make it, maybe, I was thinking more of a tunic style, but I don't know if I'm going to do that because those are like, they take a longer time, and I have so many projects I want to work on. I don't know if I want to be working on something that long. So we'll see. So there's that. And I am using this yarn that is discontinued, but I am going to of course do my research and find yarn substitutes. This is like a one weight yarn. I know a lot of people don't even like to work with one weight yarns anyway, so you know, I'm just using it because I need to use it up, and it's like a ridiculous amount of yardage in these things. I think it's like over 400 to 500 yards in this skein. So I am using this. I think it is a 100% wool yarn. It's called Color Ideal, and it's by Yarn Bee, my favorite yarn line, and Color Ideal, and this is in the color magenta. So that is all for my whips and my bows. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but my new segment is going to be called the Sustainability Second. I don't know if that matters to anybody, but I realized through this process of creating and, you know, starting a company that sustainability really does matter to me. I want to make sure that my craft is not causing any more harm to the planet, that it's bringing beauty and joy, and also helping, you know, reduce my carbon footprint and helping inspire others to do the same. So that I will talk more about in the next part of the video, which is part 2. So aside from the Sustainability Second, the new segment, I'm also going to be talking about new business things that I've kind of started to incorporate. I'll talk about my new Instagram and the first post that I ever made on there. I'm excited to show that with you guys, and then just talking about little bits and bobs that I have here that I want to show you. So yes, looking forward to the next video. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah.